Hello, Year 2, how are you? And welcome to today's geography lesson. Now, in the last lesson, we answered the question, what does Earth look like from above? And we looked at different pictures, different aerial pictures and maps to find out, didn't we? And we even went on Google Maps and looked at the school from an aerial view, didn't we? And looked at all the different parts of the school. Now, this week, we're going to be looking at how maps represent the real world. So how is everything around us that we see every day shown on a map? And by the end of the lesson, you'll be able to look at a map and identify the different features of it, the different things that you can see on the map. But before we do that, I'd like to do a retrieval activity to see how much you remember from last lesson. So here you go. We have 3 pictures here. Now, what do all of these pictures have in common? Yes, that's right. They're all of Brookvale Primary School. They're all of our school. Now, they all look different, don't they? What is the difference between these pictures? Can you pause the video now and have a think? Okay, Year 2. So let's look at the first one first. Well, as we can see, this is our school, isn't it? And this is how we'd see our school every day. This is the perspective that we'd see our school every day, as if we were walking into school. So that's just like our school in everyday life, what we see. Okay, now how is that one different to the other 2? Well, as I've just said, that one, the first one, is from the perspective that we see every day. But the other 2 are from an aerial view, aren't they? They're from an aerial perspective or a bird's eye view. Remember, that's a view that a bird would see the school in. That's a perspective from that a bird would see the school from if he was flying above the school. Now, they are both from an aerial perspective, but what is different about them? Well, the first one is just a simple map, isn't it? You can just see the roads and the park and the lake, and you can see a point where the school is. But the other one is an aerial photograph. Okay, so it's a more detailed photograph of the school. Now, can you remember where aerial photographs are taken from? Yes, brilliant. This photograph is taken all the way from space. It's called a satellite photograph. Fantastic. Well done if you remembered that. Well done if you remember the word perspective, an aerial view, an aerial perspective, and a bird's eye view, because that's all of the words that we learnt last week. So brilliant. Well done. Now let's move on to today's learning. So here you go. We've got some pictures. We've got a house, a valley, an ocean, a mountain, a shop, a town, a forest, and a factory. And what I'd like you to do is have a think. How could we sort these different things, these different features? Can you pause the video now and have a think? How would you sort them? Okay, Year 2, did you manage to sort them? Or would you like to know how I sorted them? Let's have a look. So I sorted them between human features and physical features. What does that mean? Well, a human feature is something that's been built by humans. So, for example, a town. A town has been built by humans. The humans have built roads, the church that I can see, and all the buildings. Okay, so that is a human feature. And you can remember human feature because they've been built by humans. Okay, so if that's a human feature, what's a physical feature? Well, a physical feature is the opposite. It's a natural feature, something that would be there even if there were no humans around. So it hasn't been built, it's natural. So an example of that is a valley, okay? A valley hasn't been built, it's in nature, it's natural. Brilliant. So now you know what a human feature is and what a physical feature is. Could we go back to these pictures? I've got rid of the 2 that we've just done together. Could you go back to these pictures and sort them between human features and physical features? Pause the video now and have a go. Okay, Year 2. So a house. Has a house been built by a human or is it natural? What did we think? Yes, brilliant. It's built by a human. So therefore it's a human feature and we're going to show our human features with a red circle. Now, what about an ocean? Has an ocean been built or is it natural? Yes, that's right, it's natural. So therefore, it is a physical feature. And we're going to show our physical features in green. Okay, what about a mountain? Has a mountain been built by humans or is it natural? Yes, you're right, it's natural. It hasn't been built. So therefore, it is a physical feature. Okay, next we've got a shop. Is a shop a human feature or a physical feature? What do you think? Has it been built by a human or is it natural? Yes, it's been built by a human and therefore it is a human feature. Well done. Now the next one, a forest. Has a forest been built or is it natural? Yes, that's right, it's natural. So therefore it is a physical feature. And lastly, we have the factory. Now, has the factory been built by humans or is it natural? Would it be there even if there were no humans? Yes, you're right. It is a human feature because it's been built by humans. Fantastic, well done. So look at all these different human and physical features, and there are lots of others. Now, that means that the Earth is quite complicated, isn't it? And it's too complicated to represent, to show all of these different features on a map, as it's made up of all these different millions of human features and physical features. So I wonder what they do to sort this situation out, because they can't show all of them because it's too complicated. Well, maps are a simplified 2D or sometimes 3D, so 2D is when it's flat, representation of the Earth's surface. Okay, and a map shows the spatial relationship between objects. Okay, what does that mean? Well, spatial is an adjective and it means the position and the size of things. So that means that it shows the relationship between the position of things and the size of things. Okay, so it could show you where a house is in relation to the school. Okay, so you can see the position of things compared to another thing. And that allows people to plan routes, to navigate and to find points of interest. So for example, if you want to go to the park, you can see where the park is in relation to your house or another place. Okay, so it helps you to navigate and find those different places. And that's because it shows you the distance, the space, the spatial relationship between the two places. Fantastic. Now, what else do you think they do? Well, cartographers, sorry, which are map makers. Can you repeat after me again? Cartographers. Cartographers. Fantastic. They are map makers, people who make maps. And because the real world is so complicated, they have to shrink down maps, so make them smaller, so that they are scaled. Now, what does scaled mean? Well, scaled shows the size of the representation on the map compared to the size of the object in real life. So it tells you how much bigger the object in real life is compared to what it looks like on the map. Okay, so you might have a house shown on a map or a building, maybe a hospital, and the scale will tell you how big that hospital, how much bigger that hospital is in real life compared to how big it is on the map. So can you see on the first map, it says scale, circle it, there you go, 1, and then 2 dots, and then 25,000. What could that mean? Because that's the scale. So that's telling us how much bigger things are in real life to on the map. But why is it 25,000? Well, that's because that means that in real life, the objects are 25,000 times bigger than they are on the map. Okay, so if it was 27,000, the last number, in real life, the objects would be 27,000 times bigger than on the map, than they're shown on the map. Okay, so look at the one in New York, the map of New York. Well, what's the scale here? It says 1 and then 63,360. Can you pause the video? What does that mean? Okay, year 2, what did it mean? Well, yes, it means that in real life, the objects shown on the map are 63,360 times bigger than they're shown on the map. So for example, the park on the map, can you see the park with the lake in the middle? Well, in real life, that will be 63,360 times bigger than we can see it on the map. How amazing is that? But the cartographers do it because there's so much in real life, so many things that they have to get on the map, that they have to make them smaller to make sure everything fits on the map. Okay, so they scale the map down. What else do they do? Well, here you go. Here's a map of Lyon, which is in France. Now, the different colour roads mean something, okay? So maps use different colours to help people locate different important things, different important points, okay? So we have got 3 different coloured roads here. We've got blue roads, red roads, and yellow roads, and sometimes they're shown in orange. So the blue roads are the motorways, okay? The red roads are the main roads, and the yellow roads are the narrower roads. So the smaller roads, they're not as big as the main roads and the motorways, so they're shown in yellow. So there you go. The cartographers scale the map down to make sure that they can fit everything on. And they also show the different types of roads using different colours. And also a footpath can be shown in the colour green, okay? And it's like a little dashy line, okay? There's little dashes in green, and that shows a footpath. So what else might they do to help us with the map, to simplify the map? Well, they use different symbols, okay? And if you know what the symbols mean on one map, they're usually the same on every single map. Okay, so if you know what they mean on one map, you can then look at another map and know what the symbol means on that map as well. Now, the ones in blue are normally buildings and tourist attractions. So if you see a blue symbol, like the 3 that we can see on there, then they are buildings and tourist attractions, okay? So we've got a blue square with a P in the middle. We've got a brown square with a duck in the middle, a blue square with a train in the middle, a brown square with a cross in the middle, a brown square with a flag in the middle, and a blue square with a what looks like a tent in the middle. Can you pause the video now and have a think? What do you think these different symbols, what human or physical features do you think these different symbols represent?